Blessings. Blessings, goddess. Blessings to you, goddesses. So, I know people are just coming on, but I don't want to sit here and wait. So I just want to kind of first just welcome everyone. Welcome to another episode of Womb Wednesdays. Womb Wednesdays is something Cosmic Woman does every single Wednesday, hitting points with about healing, may it be the hormones, may it be the heart, may it be the mind, may it be detoxing, anything reproductive. So tonight is no different. Now, usually we have a topic. Tonight we have absolutely no topic. The topic is questions and answers. So please, guys, if you have any questions or answers, no question is a dumb question. So please just reach out, ask your questions so I can definitely help you, okay? The whole point of why Cosmic Woman exists is because healing needs to happen, and giving the information and putting the information out there is the easiest and the best way for women and men to be able to heal their bodies. So it's not always about, yes, of course, I want you to set a consultation. I want to be able to make a treatment plan for you so that you have the best of all worlds. You're taking things that are particularly for you, depending on the situation that you have. But apart from that, there are also other tips and other things that I can answer and I can help without you even needing necessarily to do a consultation if you at this time can't afford it, or mentally that's not where you are. Someone was just saying, I have some questions, please. Okay, Blue Moon, shoot with your questions. Blessings to everyone who is just coming on. Let me repeat, today is questions and answers. So it is all about answering your guys' questions. May it be reproductive, may it be about classes, may it be about my own personal journey. Whatever questions it is that you guys have, please feel free to ask the questions. How? Just text it. Just write it in the comment section what your question is, and I will answer. I was waiting on the text back from you on WhatsApp. Okay, so in terms of WhatsApp, I am responding. Hopefully by tomorrow I would have gotten to all of them. There are a lot of them, so I'm just trying to go through them along with going through my regular routine, daily routine, consultations and that type of thing. But if it is an emergency, if it is something that you need to know about a product or something like that, please send a message to the Jamaica number on WhatsApp. You will get a quicker response from there. If you are a client, and you need to ask me a specific question, then yes, by tomorrow definitely will be answering those questions. Okay. Do you sell herbal bush? I sell different herbs, yes, and I sell them in the loose herb form. So it really just depends on what herb you need. We have herbal blends like the hormonal oil blend. We also have the womb tea blend. And then we also have like the individual teas. So if it's red raspberry, red clover, blue vervain, mugwort, chamomile, we also have different herbs as well. So it really just depends on what it is that you need and what you're looking for. Okay, so someone wants to come in on the live, and because it's questions and answers, I'm gonna oblige them. Let's see. I'm not sure if their Wi-Fi is up. Looks like it looks like their Wi-Fi is not. It's not working for us. Okay, let me ask some questions here. Answer some questions here. What are your tips for women trying to conceive? Okay, so if you're trying to get pregnant, okay, and let's say that you have been trying for 12 months consecutively trying to get pregnant and it's not happening. I would say number one, make an appointment with your OBGYN. Okay. Let them know that you're trying to get pregnant. You've tried for a year, it's not working. So you would like to, if you haven't already, get a ultrasound done, a pelvic ultrasound, a transvaginal pelvic ultrasound, okay, which means that they're going to take this little wand looking thing that has a camera on it, stick it in your vagina, look around, looking at your uterus, looking at your ovaries, looking at all these different things to make sure that everything is in tip-top shape. I also recommend you doing an HSG test. An HSG test is testing your tubes to see if your tubes have any form of blockage or any issue with them at all. Okay. That is also something that I would recommend you do. Now, if you are trying to get pregnant, cleansing is always important. It's always important to cleanse the body. So please make sure that you're detoxing. Make sure you're not eating foods that take long to digest, like pork and beef and those types of foods, right? Also, when you're detoxing, you want to think about things like kidney and liver, which are the dirtiest parts of any animal. Don't eat those while you're doing that. I have a lot of clients that have come across that when I look at their file, there are no red flags. There are no fibroids, no endometriosis, no cysts, no nothing, right? The worst thing about them is they probably go to the bathroom every other day, okay? When it comes to those types of clients, cleansing, detoxing is one of the first things we do, and we do that well, okay? Because a lot of times it is the toxins and the waste that needs to be removed. From there, you also want to think about like your ovaries. You want to make sure that you're ovulating. So don't try to get pregnant for 12 months without even realizing if you're ovulating or not. Buy an ovulation stick, pee on it, see what happens. Are you ovulating? Are you not ovulating? Now, every woman should have an app in her phone, a period slash. I think you should just do a period app because the period app is going to have ovulation stuff in there as well. Okay. I suggest you download that on your phone and you put in whatever information you need to put in there. So if it is the first day of your period, the last day of your period, all the little information. It is then going to tell you that maybe 12 to 18 days after your period, you should be ovulating. That is when you're going to check to see if you are. You're going to pee on the strip to see if, yes, at this time I am ovulating. Let's say, for example, you pee on the strip and it says that you're not ovulating. I would say, okay, give yourself 2 more days and pee on it again and see what happens. If it is that you do not find that you're ovulating at all, then we're going to want to be working on your ovaries. Okay? If it is that you've realized that, yes, I'm now ovulating, or you can feel the sensations that you can feel or see them in terms of the discharge or that type of thing, then you know that, okay, I am ovulating. Ovulating is very important for fertility. Okay, so you have to remember that you need to ovulate. It's one of the reasons why women who have PCOS have a hard time, or cysts or general cysts have a hard time getting pregnant because the ovulation is not happening. Or women who are not having their period every month. Most times they're not ovulating. There's no egg that is being released. So that is really what the issue is. So when we're talking about fertility and seeking fertility, we want to detox. We want to make sure our ovaries are healthy. We want to make sure our tubes are also healthy and clear. no blockage, right? We want to make sure that our uterus is healthy. We want to make sure the uterus is good. I mean, the uterus is where baby has to live for 10 months. You know what I mean? Like, we want to make sure that baby will be in there cool, chill, the oven is clean, no toxins, no extra waste, all these types of things. So that is also something you can look into as well. Okay. Vitamins. You need to be on vitamins, and prenatal vitamins are not the vitamins that you need to necessarily go on to get pregnant. There are a lot of vitamins that you need that you should not get while you're pregnant. So it will not be in a prenatal vitamin. Okay. So if you are not pregnant right now, you do not need to be on a prenatal vitamin unless you're doing a prenatal vitamin and a female plant-based multivitamin. So you can do both, but if you're only going to do one, I definitely suggest that you do the female vitamin. We want it to be plant-based, we want it to be organic, we want it to be gluten-free. Okay, so no dairy, no this, no that, all of that kind of stuff, no soy, that type of thing. Of course, as you guys know, Cosmic Woman has all these products. If it is that you want to purchase these things, you can send us a DM. You can go on our website, which is cosmicwoman.com. However it is, whatever it is, to get through to us to figure out what it is you need. Okay, we're definitely here. So those are definitely what I would say in terms of the basics, right? When it comes to conceiving. I have hormonal imbalance, been told by 3 doctors. I have facial hair, hard to lose weight, easy to gain weight, and painful periods. How can I get a control of my hormones? Okay. So if you are having hair growing in male places or manly places, that means that your male hormones are really high. Okay, so we need to remove the male hormone from your liver. So I would cleanse you, and I would also strengthen your liver. That's what I would do if I was treating you. Also, what I would say is, in terms of the weight gain, it is also about the liver again. Okay, so we want to cleanse the liver. We'd also want to cleanse the gut, the whole digestive system, really, to be honest with you. Okay, we would also create healthy circulation. The better the circulation is the easier it is for the blood to flow, and so losing weight will also be a little easier. Okay. Painful periods. Painful periods come in many shapes, forms, sizes. It just really depends. Some women have painful periods because their uterus muscle isn't toned. Some women have painful periods because they have a lot of blockage. Some women have painful periods because their hormones are just all over the place. So it could be all of the above for you, or it could be one of the above. So what I would suggest you do is definitely be on some kind of tea that has red raspberry in it, or drinking red raspberry. That would be great in terms of the uterus. In terms of balancing your hormones, you definitely want to attack the liver. Okay, that is how it's easy for us to balance our hormone that way. Also with cleansing, you want to cleanse. You want to do at least a 90-day cleanse. Clean the body. You find that once we clean the body, the hormones start to balance out on their own. Okay, so cleaning. If we're going to juice, if we're going to detox, if we're going to do detoxing physical treatments, if you're going to do physical detox treatments on yourself. All right, there are a lot of different types of detox treatments. I've spoken about them many of time. You can go back in an IG live where I'm talking about detoxing and really get an understanding of that. If you don't want to just buy the cleanse that we have, you can go back, look, hear about the herbs that I've spoken about, and then go and purchase those. Okay? How best to control the imbalanced hormones? Okay, so I just spoke about that. Okay, when we're tackling the hormones, we want to make sure that we're cleansing the liver, we're cleansing the gut. It's very important. So cleansing and detoxing is one of the best ways to balance the hormones. Another way is going to be to make sure that you are on some vitamins and minerals, enough vitamins and enough minerals. So a plant-based multivitamin will be great for you to also be on. Someone is saying they can't hear me. Can you guys not hear me? I'm not sure. What can you do to help ovulation? Okay, so I spoke about this a little earlier. So when it comes to ovulation, there are a few things that we can do. Okay, vitamin C is great for ovulation. We also have things like evening primrose that's great for ovulation. Um, vitamin D3 is also very good for ovulation. Uh, self massages, abdominal massages, where we're rubbing on the abdomen and massaging it out and really just focusing a lot on the lower part of the abdomen. That would be really, really great for you as well. Okay. If you want to also heal your ovaries or make sure your ovaries are in the best condition, you don't want to be on dairy. Okay. Dairy is not something that your ovaries like, that your eggs like. They don't like it. So I would stay away from that. What are your tips on women who are suffering from PCOS? Okay, so guys, I have done many talks about PCOS. I have done many lives about PCOS. Okay, is a hormonal condition that tells us that your estrogen level is too high, which means you got to stop eating estrogen. We have to clean the estrogen out of your liver. There are many different forms of PCOS, okay? Um, and so we have to really figure out what form it is that you have to know the best way to treat it. Also, with some forms of PCOS, there's some hair growing in manly places. So we also have to tackle the male hormones that are abundant in the liver as well. That is the way to get PCOS, okay? Cleansing the liver, strengthening the liver, removing all of the estrogen, all that extra estrogen, that is really how you get rid of it. And of course, strengthening the ovaries. Did you change ingredients in the Feminine Divine? I did for a short while, but it's back to its normal. So if you were to buy a new one, it is back to its normal. What are your thoughts on burdock root? I love burdock root. It's very good. It is a cleanser, great, great cleanser. I definitely love it. It's something that I recommend. It's great for cleaning your blood as well. I don't think that it cleans your digestive system or your liver the way it cleans your blood, but it's definitely a great herb to be on and to take. How should we go about detoxing and cleansing? All right, so I spoke a little bit about this earlier, and I have many lives about this. So please go back into the IG and look for the detoxing lives that I've done, okay? The cleansing and detoxing lives. There are many ways to cleanse and detox, many, many ways. You can do juicing, you can do raw foods, you can just cut out meats and this and that out of your diet. You can also do like a tonic, kind of like an oral cleanse. So it really just depends on what you want to do. I suggest doing all three and switching it up. You get the best results that way. You don't always want to stick to one thing. You know what I mean? The more you switch it up is the more that you get healing in a quicker way. So definitely switch it up if you can, or do all three if you can. You can also detox your physical skin and all that too. I speak about that in the other lives. I don't want to waste too much time talking about that. But yes, cleansing, we can use the herbs, we can use different treatments like castor oil treatment, clay treatment, we can use navel candling, we can also use dry brushing. Those are also some physical detoxing things that we can do. Okay, so The female vitamin is actually supposed to be very sweet. So I'm not sure if the first one you got was sweet or if the second one you got was sweet. In terms of it, in terms of your face breaking out, I'm not necessarily sure why that would be, but send us a message. I mean, send us a message. Let's see what's going on. I mean, I can't tell you anything right now. I don't know if you are a client of mine. I don't recognize the name. So I'm not really sure what's going on. I don't know if it's being mixed with something else. I don't know if there's something you're allergic to. I don't know if your face is trying to detox. I mean, I'm not really sure what's happening. So you would have to send me a inbox me or something so I could know really what's going on. Good night. Good night, Megan. Let's see what else is going on here. We can hear, we can hear. Okay, good. I was getting a little worried. Can't wait for my appointment with you. Well, awesome. I can't wait for our appointment either. I'm very excited about that. Excited for your journey. What was the change ingredients in the feminine divine? Um, I, it's we usually add a natural sweetener that has some superfood things in it. And I took it, I removed it for a while just to see how our clients would respond differently. Some of them were complaining about how sweet it was, and I know because I personally take it, I know how sweet it is. I have to drink so much water after. So I was just trying something different, but it's definitely gone back to its original sweetness. Will my fertility be affected after taking out my IUD? Well, putting in the IUD can affect the fertility. It really depends on what type of IUD you have. Um, it really just depends. So if it's like, for example, the Moreno, which has hormones in it, then yes, it can definitely affect the fertility. If it's something like the copper IUD that has no hormones in it, it shouldn't really affect your fertility at all. So it really just depends on what it is that you have in. What causes period to have a fishy odor? Old blood. It's an old blood, and it's mixing with all of the fluids and stuff that's in your vagina, and so it throws off your pH. That's why it's really important to steam after your period, to steam on the last day of your period. If it is that your period is giving you a yeast infection or something like that, like triggering it, then we have to really tackle inside you and make sure that we detox you, make sure that we're giving you some healthy bacteria so that it can fight that and balance out the area. I normally just purchase, so I'm not a client, just a user of your products. The first one wasn't sweet. This one is, yeah. So the rest of them are all really going to be sweet. Okay. You had just come in when we were just changing it up a little bit. My face is breaking out and I need a detox. Not feeling myself lately, not much energy. Okay, so if you don't have a lot of energy, that's usually because you need a detox. Okay, if your face is breaking out, a lot of times that can be because you need a detox as well. Okay, or maybe it can be that you are detoxing and so it is just purging out. Okay, so a lot of times that happens too because you're not sweating. Okay, so the skin itself cannot detox. The inside is detoxing, the skin itself can't. So please run, jump, um, dance, walk, do something so that you can be sweating. You realize that your pores will become more cleaner because the sweat. Okay. If you need a cleanse, Megan, definitely you can hit us up. and we can get that for you. Okay, get that to you, I should say. Can the cleanse expire if you have it for a couple months? As long as it has been in your fridge, once you have bought it, because we make them we don't make them from a long time and store them. Okay, we are on it, so they don't last long enough to store. To be honest with you, so let's say you bought it in June, and when you bought it and you opened it, you put it in the fridge, and it's been in the fridge. December, you will still be able to use it. How to remove mucus from the body? Oh, good question. Okay, so I've spoken a lot about this in terms of removing mucus. The majority of the issues that we have out there is mucus related. Okay, if it's cancer, if it's cysts, if it's fibroids, if it's, it's all comes back to too much mucus. Okay, arthritis, all of that. So removing it is a good thing. What I would usually say, number one, stop eating foods with dairy. Dairy produces mucus, so that's the first thing that we're going to want to do. The second thing that you're going to want to do is to start getting herbs and stuff in your body that will also remove the mucus. There might be some mucus that has been calcified, and there might be some mucus that's still kind of free-flowing or sticky or stringy or, that type of thing. So we want to get all forms of the mucus out. I usually suggest cleansing, of course, for sure. Also doing the mucus buster. Cosmic Woman has a tonic called Mucus Buster, and when I say Mucus Buster, I mean it busts out all the mucus. It is amazing. Children can take it as well. So I definitely suggest Mucus Buster to remove mucus out of the body. 100%. And you want to be on this for like 3 months. The mucus will come out of your nose. It can come out of your anus. It can come out through your vagina. It just really depends. You can also do some physical treatments to remove mucus as well, like castor oil treatments. Navel candling is also one of them. Is there a treatment plan for adenomyosis? How is it treated? Okay, well, I had that. That is what I had, and that is what I ended up curing to then start Cosmic Woman. So there's definitely a treatment plan that I can make for you if that is something that you are suffering from. And then meiosis is not something that's going to go away. It only gets worse and worse. So I do suggest that you do something about it. Okay? I need a consultation. Well then, come on. You need a consultation? Let's do it. Let's get it done. Doing my clay detox at the moment. Awesome. Awesome. I'm actually going to do a clay treatment tonight and a castor oil treatment tonight as well. So that's awesome that we're doing that at the same time. I sent my question using the question feature. Okay, I have no idea anything about the question feature, guys. I am very slow to this, so please bear with me. I'm not sure how that is. How do I know for sure that I am ovulating? Okay, so when it comes to ovulation, usually there are things that we can feel or see. In terms of feel, usually there's some kind of cramping or something that happens either on one ovary or the other ovary or both ovaries. Sometimes it is a turning sensation you get instead of a cramping sensation at the ovaries, and that can be both ovaries at the same time or one or the other, or it can switch from one side to the other. You can also tell that you're ovulating based off of discharge. Okay, now for those women that don't really discharge throughout the month, it will be easier for them to know when they're discharging because here now is some discharge and they don't usually discharge. If you are one of those women that discharge every day or every other day and they're pretty leaky like that, it's a little harder. So what you now have to look for is texture. What you now have to look for is how long after my period did this type of texture come out. For most women, they ovulate 12 to 18 days after their period. For me personally, I ovulate like 5-6 days after my period. So it really just depends. You definitely want to look in your underwear, and you want to be aware, a little bit more aware, if you feel that funny cramping or turning sensation. The other way is to get a ovulation stick and pee on it. Or you can go to the doctor and they can definitely do some tests to see if you're ovulating. That's a little bit more expensive though, of course. How often can you use the pearls? What pearls? Guys, I've said this once, I've said this twice, I'm going to say it again tonight. I do not recommend the pearls. We don't sell the pearls. We do not recommend the pearls. I do not think that they are that healthy. I don't like the herbs that they use in them. I would not use it. I have tried it before. It actually gave me a yeast infection. I am not about it, okay? I don't sell it. I don't recommend it. So no, no pearls. I also don't recommend boric acid, guys. Okay, please. Boric acid is in rat poison. You don't need that inside of your vagina. My good pum pum, my good things. No, you're mad. Guys, no. Okay, it's a fad right now. Please don't feed into it. Please don't feed into it. Okay, if you are having yeast infection issues, give us a DM. Okay, you definitely are going to want to change certain things in your diet, because that is an internal thing. But you also want to do probiotics, 100 billion cultures of live probiotics. You also want to cleanse. And then what I also would recommend is doing a silver kit treatment. The silver kit treatment is great for taking away the symptoms of the yeast or even the BV that you could be suffering from. Is plain yogurt and water a good mixture for douching? Okay, so I would not recommend using yogurt to douche. I would not recommend eating any yogurt or putting any yogurt inside of you that has dairy in it. Got it? So no yogurt with dairy. If you want something to douche, it depends on why you're douching, okay? People will say to you, oh, it's not good to douche. Well, it's not good to douche too often. But for some women, they have to douche. They need to. They need to kind of just get some cleansing fluid up there really quickly, okay? And so that is fine. For me, if I am to douche, I douche with silver. I do not douche with anything too hard. I want harsh. I want to make sure that when I do whatever I douche with, that actual liquid is actually also going to be healing my insides instead of making it sick or dry. What causes an ectopic pregnancy and how do you treat it? Okay, so in terms of an ectopic pregnancy, a lot of times what that is that the baby, right, it did not, the egg that was fertilized could not pass all the way through, okay, and so it gets stuck. For some women, they can have an ectopic pregnancy and they can still keep that tube. For some women, when they have an ectopic pregnancy, they have to lose that tube. So it really just depends on what happened, okay? So if you end up having an ectopic pregnancy, you can say to your OBGYN, can I save my tube? Right? If he can save it, he will. If he can't, then you know that you have one other tube and you have to make the best out of that one tube that you have left. You will not be able to save the baby though. Having an ectopic pregnancy is almost like saying you've had a miscarriage. Baby will be no more. Is there a treatment plan for fibroids? Yes, there are many treatment plans for fibroids. So if you would like a treatment plan for fibroids, please let me know. And book your consultation and we can create one for you. Can serapeptase be used for fibroids? It can. I use serapeptase more for removing plaque and scar tissue and mucus. That's what I use serapeptase more for. Can you have periods monthly and not ovulate? Yes, you can. Your period can come every single month and you not ovulate. Yes, that is very much possible. Do you sell the ovulation strips? I do not. But you can go in the pharmacy. They have it. Okay. Pharmacies have it. Are inserts and antibiotics for yeast and BV really helpful? I don't think they are. I mean, I used to suffer from BV like no other business. Like it was a hot mess. I was a hot mess with that. And I would go to the doctor, the OBGYN every month to get some kind of insert with the antibiotics and Metrogel and all this kind of stuff. And it just would always come back. It would always come back. So after a while I stopped, and I hear my clients say it all the time too. After a while I just stopped and just kind of deal with this uncomfortable vagina thing I have going on because they can't bother to go to the doctor every month. So when you suffer from yeast infections or bacterial vaginosis that are reoccurring, we got to get to the gut. It's the gut. We got to make sure you're on some really good high probiotics so that we can get that good bacteria in your body. I always recommend people to watch you and check you out when they complain to me about their woman problems, especially fertility problems. Awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you so much, Natasha, for that. Are feminine washes good? It depends. Some feminine washes are good and some feminine washes aren't good. It just depends on what is in them. I am actually right now trying out a feminine wash. So far, so good. But I'm not going to mention anything about it, mention the name, mention anything until I have used it for 2 months. I want to see how my body responds completely before I even recommend it to anyone. Okay. What do you recommend for adenomyosis? Okay, so I recommend red raspberry. I recommend sorrel. I recommend changing your diet and having no meat or byproducts of meat in your diet. I also recommend doing castor oil treatments. I also recommend getting abdominal massages done, either to yourself or someone doing it to you. I also recommend sound therapy. I'm not sure what other symptoms you have. Depends on what other symptoms could be going on with the adenomyosis. But I'm going to tell you, a consultation is really the best place to begin. Okay. Any one of my clients that are on here now will definitely tell you that the consultation is the best place to start. What products do you recommend for persons who suffer from an ectopic pregnancy? Okay, if you had an ectopic pregnancy, what I would say is that you want to do a lot of things for your other tube that you have going on. Okay, so you want to make sure you're on vitamin C. You want to make sure you're on evening primrose. You want to make sure that your other tube is really clear. So things like serapeptase, which will also help with the scar tissue from the ectopic pregnancy on the other side. I would also say blue vervain, mugwort. Those herbs I would definitely take on a daily basis as well. What products do you recommend for persons? Oh, I just answered that. Okay, what kind of probiotics do you recommend? Okay, I recommend probiotics that are 100 billion live cultures. 100 billion live cultures. The brand that I use is called Renew. That's the brand that I personally use and I give my children. It's 100 billion cultures and I take one a day. Probiotics is amazing as well because you can also insert it in your vagina. I don't necessarily recommend doing that yet. I think you should swallow it first. But if you have a chronic case, then I would suggest inserting one in the vagina. I love when you do these sessions. It helps me to stay on track with my treatment. Awesome. I'm glad. It's all about information and awareness. That's why we're having this live. Do you sell probiotics? Yes, we sell probiotics. We have probiotics here in Jamaica and we have it in the States. Is there anything that you have to test or would recommend for male sperm count? Okay, so I do not test male sperm count. I suggest that you call your OBGYN, make an appointment to get like a prescription or something for your significant other to get a sperm test done. what I can do is help with the sperm count, or the mobility of the sperm. So if he finds out that there's a sperm count issue or mobility issue, I can recommend different things. We have black maca, we have rhinoceros, we have black seed oil. We have a bunch of different things that can help him with that. Can hormone imbalances cause you to not ovulate even though you are having a monthly period? Yes. Yes, you can also not ovulate even if you're having a monthly period. Can the regular tampons cause BV? Yes, it can. Regular tampons have chlorine bleach in them, just like the regular pads. And we're going to be doing a live about the pads, about tampons, because guys, you need to be changing your pads and your tampons. You cannot be using all that madness that you guys are using, okay? So yes, it can definitely cause BV. So you want to use natural tampons. If you cannot find them, send us a DM. If you're in Jamaica, we have them here. If you are anywhere else in the world, we have them. We can send them to you. When should we take probiotics? Every day. Every day. Put it in your smoothie. Pop the capsule every day. Would a cycle be longer if no ovulation took place? No, I don't think it has anything to do with that in terms of the period itself. In terms of the cycle, I don't think so either. Can you save this live, please? All the lives are saved, guys. All the lives are saved. I only use tampons. Okay, so if you only use tampons, then you know that you need to make sure that your tampons are natural. You need to change your tampons regularly so that the blood is not sitting there in your vaginal canal like that. Okay, so definitely use some natural tampons. Someone is saying yes, renew is life. Hello. Hi. Okay, so what causes irregular and painful periods? Well, irregular periods are caused by hormonal imbalances. So if it is not enough estrogen, too much estrogen, not enough progesterone, too much progesterone, too much male hormone, may that be testosterone or something else. So not having the period is a hormonal issue for sure. Painful periods can also be hormonal, but it can also be the uterus that's the problem. So it really just depends. It can also be that you don't have enough vitamins and minerals in your body. If you suffer from painful periods, you need magnesium. You need a high dose of magnesium. So if that's something you're suffering with, please send us a DM, okay? You need magnesium, and not just the little regular one that you can buy in the pharmacy, okay? You need high doses of magnesium. What is the name of the probiotics you use again? Renew. Renew is the name of it. Can you repeat the name of your probiotics? Renew. Having a cyst is caused by mucus buildup. Mucus is in the cyst. The cyst contains of mucus and pus and all kinds of something. How do I get a consultation? Send a DM to Cosmic Woman, and we'll give you all the instructions in terms of how to do that. In terms of where you are, what the price is, when our earliest appointment is, and what the consultation consists of, depending on where you are. You want to do 90 billion, 100 billion. The more the merrier. Okay, guys, with the probiotics, you want to do a high dose of the probiotics. I have PCOS. Should rice flour be avoided? Yes. You need gluten-free. If you suffer from PCOS, if you suffer from endometriosis, if you suffer from pelvic inflammatory disease, if you suffer from the majority of the reproductive conditions, you should be on gluten-free products, dairy-free products, for sure. Do you have anything to help with PCOS? Yes, we have so many things for PCOS. So it just depends on what is going on and what type of PCOS you have. So send us a DM. Let's talk. Let's set up a consultation so we can know what it is, what type of PCOS you have, and then we can take it from there. But I will tell you, dairy you want to stay away from. Gluten, you definitely want to stay away from. You want to stay away from meats like chicken and liver and kidney and beef and pork and those types of things. Okay, for sure. Those are some things that you can take care of before you even necessarily come and see me. Which of your products do you recommend I start with post 1 year surgery of removing cysts and being diagnosed with endometriosis? I want to start ASAP. Well, I recommend that you cleanse. I also recommend that you go on serapeptase so we can remove that scar tissue that can build up from the surgery. I also recommend removing the estrogen from your liver. You remove the cysts, but the environment that created the cysts is still there. I repeat, guys, if you have cysts, if you have fibroids, if you have endometriosis, and you do a surgery to remove it, the condition that created it is still there. So these things come back. You might get relief, yes. The period might be a little easier, yes. But it will come back, and it will come back with a vengeance. So still focusing on the liver, removing the estrogen from the liver is going to be important. Okay, if you suffer from endometriosis, that is also high estrogen. So you had cysts and you have endometriosis, that's too much estrogen. You have to get to your liver. So our liver tonic would be good. Cleanse would be good. You definitely want to go on the serapeptase, as I told you before. You definitely want to be on a female plant-based vitamin. There are a bunch of things that you're going to want to be on. Bunch of things. Which beans is good for PCOS diet? Beans, okay, so the best beans that you can eat are probably things like navy beans are a better type of beans. Chickpeas is a better option. Most beans are not really made for human consumption. Beans are better for animals to eat, and then you probably eat the animals that eat the beans. So beans are not something that I would want to say that you should be eating on a daily basis, okay, even on a weekly basis. Good night. I have been trying for a baby 7 months now and nothing. I was on the injection. Do you think I have blocked tubes? Okay, well, the injection will definitely stop the period. So that could be one of the reasons why it's not happening, or it's still in your body. It hasn't been able to, it hasn't released itself yet. Blocked tubes, I would not be able to tell you if you have blocked tubes unless you did an HSG test. So any woman that is trying to become pregnant, do a pelvic ultrasound, do an HSG test, do a pap smear. Find out where you are from there, and then we can fix or build whatever we need to. I am just joining. What's the use of probiotics? What's the benefits? Probiotics is good bacteria, and good bacteria is important for our gut. Our gut has a lot of bad bacteria because we have food sitting in our digestive system. So the good bacteria helps to eliminate and fight off the bad or negative bacteria. If you suffer from yeast infection, if you suffer from bacterial vaginosis, if you have herpes, if you have any kind of immune issue, you want to be on her probiotics. 100 billion cultures for sure, if you can get that. Endometriosis, I spoke about this. Endometriosis is an estrogen-driven condition just like cysts is and just like fibroids are, okay? Endometriosis can be very painful, and depending on what stage endo you have, I mean, it could be rough for you. So if endo is something that you are suffering with, I suggest that you make a consultation so we can do some things about that, okay? I would say definitely change your diet. Diet is huge. Endometriosis, you cannot eat gluten. You should not eat fake sugars or brown sugar or white sugar, okay? Endometriosis cannot have dairy, okay? It's just like cysts and fibroids. You guys cannot eat those things. Wild caught fish is good for anyone. PCOS, fibroids, it doesn't matter. Is it billion or million? Billion. 100 billion cultures, okay? 100 billion cultures. What products do you have that you recommend for treating hormone imbalance? Guys, I have so many. I mean, I probably have like over 60 things that are good for hormonal balance. It depends on what's going on with the hormones and what hormone is in balance and what hormone is low and all those types of things. So if you're having an issue with hormonal imbalance, a consultation is the first step. I will repeat, the consultation is the first step. But change your diet. I can't say that enough. Change your diet. What causes polyps in the uterus? Okay, so polyps is another thing. So that is definitely hormonal along with a lot of toxins in the body. Okay, so we can definitely remove polyps as well from a natural standpoint. Can having gallstones have anything to do with my infertility? Yes, having gallstones can have something to do with your fertility. Your kidneys, your digestive system is huge for your reproductive system. So if there's digestive system issues, then fertility can be an issue. Okay, it doesn't mean that you can't have children now or something, but a lot of times there is a little issue until we fix the digestive system, and then everything just starts working the way it should. Is lactose milk good for persons with active sinusitis? Okay, lactose, like lactose free? Because if you have sinus, you want to make sure that whatever milk you're drinking has no dairy whatsoever. None. None. What do you recommend for someone with a weak bladder who have issues holding their urine and frequent urination? I suggest the yoni egg. I suggest doing pelvic toning, yoni toning classes to help with that. Okay, for sure. Because if you have a weak bladder, and especially pregnancy is the goal, you want to fix that before you even become pregnant, because your bladder is going to become even more weak. Yes, beans make you bloated and gassy because you're not supposed to eat them. Okay? Don't eat them. I am going to answer one more question here. What causes one to not ovulate each month? Okay, so we spoke a little bit about this already, and it is literally because of hormonal issues, okay, why you would not ovulate. The egg is not being released. Sometimes it can also be because the tubes are blocked. So what I would suggest you do if you're trying to get pregnant and you've been trying for a year, get your test done so you can know what is happening, okay? Now, guys, I'm so glad that you guys had so many questions, because at first I was wondering where the questions were, but they really started to come in, and I really appreciate that. I'm going to be doing questions and answers like every month. I think it's important for you guys to be able to reach out to me, especially live, to ask me whatever questions it is that you have so that I can facilitate your healing process, right? So thanks, guys, for tuning in to Womb Wednesdays. We are here every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Jamaican time, 8 p.m. US time, Eastern Standard Time. Next week, we will be here again. For this week, we have a couple things going on. We have a pelvic strengthening class tomorrow. So those of you who have a significant other, definitely sign him up for the class. The class is free, so there's no reason why the gentleman should not be doing the classes. The benefits for the class are basically to strengthen his penis muscles, tone the muscles, allow him to last longer, allow his orgasms to be better, um, and just to be a more amazing lover. Okay, because I really get down and dirty with the men so that they can understand certain things about the woman and understand certain things about the vagina and what it needs and what it doesn't need. So it's a great way for me to be able to speak with them without having other women around, and they themselves can feel a little bit more free. They can talk to me about things like, oh my God, their size, and then what position should they use because they're so big or they're so small or whatever it is, right? It is a safe space for the men. Just like the yoni toning class, which is on Saturday, is a safe space for the women. Okay, so please, guys, just understand that it's a safe space. We also have Pum Pum 101 coming up. So everybody on the live right now should be watching Pum Pum 101 on Friday. There is absolutely no excuse. Okay, so please tune in at 9 o'clock Jamaica time for Pum Pum 101. We are going to still be talking sex toys, which is exciting. It's nice to be able to talk about stuff that a lot of people are uncomfortable. And I actually had a client come to me the other day and said to me that, Colleen and I have really blown her mind because we talk so freely about these types of things, but we should be talking freely. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you can go up to anybody and just say, oh, I have sex with my husband outside. No, you probably are not comfortable to do that. But there are certain people that you should be able to tell that to. Okay, and there are certain sexual experiences that we should be having and feeling, and our orgasms should be amazing. So Pum Pum 101 talks about all that kind of stuff. So please tune in for that. If you guys have any questions, please hit me up. If you guys are not following us on YouTube, please do so, guys. We want our YouTube channel to grow. So please, as this live is finished, go to YouTube, look for Cosmic Woman, click the subscribe, click the bell so that you can see when we post something new. We're always posting things. If you have never seen a Pum Pum 101, or if you're looking for different lives that I've done, you can definitely check out the YouTube channel. We have all of those put up. Okay, guys. So thanks again for tuning in. I did not pray before this live, which is the first time that has ever happened. So I do apologize for those that were looking for that. Guys, thanks again. It is a blessing to be able to come on here when I do and share the knowledge that I have. And of course, it is awesome to see how you guys respond and how you're just soaking up the information. So thanks again, guys. Love and light to all of you. Blessings.